Hey y'all, this one's going to be a longer video because it's going to be my tutorial, sort of kind of tutorial. Many of you asked how to make my long jacket because it's my pattern, my idea, everything's like that. Okay, well I tried to sit down and write the pattern and it didn't come out too well. So I figured this will be more of a how to show you kind of what I'm doing because like I said, there's no stitch count. It's very free form. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's just basically up to you how you want to do it. Since I've recorded my jacket, I decided to go ahead and close it up and make a sweater. I like it a lot better than the jacket theory. So, if it doesn't look like it did in the first video, it's because that's why. But the principle of the matter is still the same. Okay. What you're going to do is, first of all, let me say this. You can use any hook, any yarn. You need some yarn with a little bit of structure. You can't use fun fur for a whole jacket unless you put it with something that's going to add a little more oomph to it. So like I said, it's pretty much up to you, whatever you want. For this example, for the jacket that I made, I used a size J hook and Red Heart Super Saver yarn. And the reason I used a cheap scratchy yarn is because I wanted to make sure I could do this before I went and bought massively expensive yarn. I mean, expensive yarn to me is over $5, just because that's the way that cookie rolls. So I wanted to make sure I could do this before I went and bought expensive yarn. If you're like most folks that know what they're doing, they're like, ha, whatever, I got this covered. Okay, that's fine. Go ahead and use your expensive yarn. That's fine. It just depends on what you want to do. If you want to make a sample first, like I did, then I would use some cheapy garage sale yarn or whatever. Otherwise, go ahead and use your expensive yarn if you pretty much got this covered. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. The first thing you need to do is decide on your hook, decide on your yarn, and decide what pattern, stitch pattern you want to use. And make a back panel. Okay? You want to measure your panel. There's the sleeve. Okay. You want to measure your panel from your shoulder to your shoulder. Now, I've got some big old shoulders, so I added a couple more inches in there. And like I said, I did not stitch count. I did not. I measured the panel. And how I worked mine to get the stripes like this is I worked it from side to side and made it whatever, you know. And you make it as long as you want. I wanted it to go down towards my ankles, but my husband helped me measure that one. So it didn't go as long as I wanted it to. But all you do is make a back panel. For this example, my stitch pattern was do your chain row as long as you want, and then I did a row of double crochet all the way across, and then I chained up 4, and that's your double crochet plus 1. And I skipped a chain, double crochet, chain 1, skip a chain, double crochet, chain 1, all the way across. And I did that to make my whole back panel. Okay? And you can make any stitch pattern that you love. If you've got a favorite, then hop to it, you know. Go for it. It's whatever. Okay, and then when you get that off, you tie it off and lay it aside, okay? Then you're going to need to make a left panel and a left front panel, right front panel. Okay? Let's turn this over. As you can see, there's panels here and panels. Okay? Now, when you make panels, I added some more panels up here, so that's why it looks closed. But you've got to make sure that it doesn't go all the way together. Does that make sense? That your panels do not meet, because you need room for your neck. if you make your panels go all the way together, you're going to have a pillowcase. And you're not going to get your neck through that. So you want to make sure your panels and leave an opening for your neck. Okay? Say your back panel is, I think mine was like 20 inches wide, okay? You need to make sure that you leave, say, 10 inches on the left, 10 inches on the right. No, that's not right. Anyway, back up. When you have your panel, you need to make sure you leave, here, let me show you this. Uh-oh, come on. So you need to leave room. Put your shoulder panel here, your shoulder panel here. You need to make sure you leave room for that neck. Okay, does this make sense? Because when you go to attach them, this is where you're going to attach them, is here and here. Okay? So, that's how that's going to work. And again, the front panels, you can do a different stitch pattern you want. I just did the same pattern, just to make it uniformed. Okay? And that's how you do that. Now, once you have your back panel done, your left front panel, your right front panel, I used my hair clips. Okay? And I put my left and my my left and right panel up here where the seam is, the shoulders. And I clamped it on there, and or you can use safety pins, bobby pins, whatever you want to use. It doesn't really matter. And I put it on there to make sure that I still have space for my neck, and to see if I needed to add any more panels to close it in some. Because you're making panels, you can add more panels. And if you make too many, and it closes up and you got too much around your neck, you can undo it, but depending on your stitch, I don't know, it would be difficult. So always don't make too much. You can always add more, but it's harder to take them away. Does that make sense? Okay, so once you have those panels on there and you think, okay, well that's pretty good, I'm happy with that, then what I did is just join the panels. Okay? Join the panels and use whatever joining method that you're comfortable with. I just did a single crochet all the way across, because I'll tell you the reason why in just a second. And then you join your other panel. Okay? Now that you've got the panels joined to your back and to your front panels, it'll hang down and it'll kind of look weird. Okay? Now, I had to get my husband to help me with the next part, because I need a mannequin, really, or something I can drape this over to decide what to do. But you're going to have it hanging down, okay? It's going to be around your neck, and it's going to be hanging down. You need to... I got my husband to help me, like I said. Decide, once you have it on you, where your armholes are going to go, because you've got to leave room for your armholes. So I clipped it right under my armpit and clipped it on both sides. And once I clipped it, I tried it on again to make sure I have room for my armholes. Okay? And let me go back to this diagram for you. Okay. See right here where it says shoulder and shoulder? Those little spaces where I don't have X's? That's where your armholes are. Okay, you're going to join your shoulder seams, and then once you get your armholes, you're going to sew down the sides. You're going to join the panels. Okay, now again, any joining method you want, it doesn't matter. Just whatever you are comfortable with. Okay, once you've got that together, you pretty much got it going. You're pretty much almost done. Okay, it'll look like I said, it'll look like a pillowcase, with holes on the side for your arms and a hole on the top for your neck. Okay? Alright. Now, did the sleeves. The sleeves can be whatever you want. If you want to follow your stitch panel, that's fine. If you want to make them more solid, that's fine too. It doesn't matter, guys. It really doesn't. Okay. Alright, so you have this open space where your armhole goes. I attach the yarn at the bottom of my armpit so the seam doesn't show, because I use slip stitch join. Okay, so you slip stitch to join it. You slip stitch to put it on. However you attach your yarn, put it on there. And then I went in every stitch, I put 2 double crochets all the way around, which gave me this flare arm. If you want a tighter arm, put less stitches around. And you just go around. You can either slip stitch to join or continuous round. Whatever you do, you need to make sure that at the end of the rows, you have written down or something done to know how many rows you did, because you need to make them uniform on both sides. On this one, I started with solid double crochet just to keep, just to make it a little warmer. And then I went back to my stitch pattern towards the bottom, and at the very bottom I did a rounded double crochet. Okay? Now you need to make sure that's what you do on the other side, so it'll be uniformed. Otherwise it'll look like a honkin' mess. So that's basically it. What you want to do now is you'll have a jacket that's open. You can add buttons to close it. You could sew it closed like I did mine. You could add some ruffle scarf around the edge. See right there? I was thinking about adding that around the edge. The possibilities are unlimited, guys. It's up to you. I just provided the basic form, and it is up to you to decide what you want to do with it. Crochet is very forgiving. It's very free. Please don't stress out about this, because it's very simple. Like I said, I'm self-taught, November 2011. And I'm doing this. If I can do it, I know you can. So, for those people that need a visual, one more time, I want you to take a look at this. Okay? You have your back panels, and your left and right front panels, and then you do your sleeves. Okay? And you join up there at the shoulders, and then you join at the side. Now, let me explain this. Because I did a single crochet join, it gave me that ridge. And everybody knows if you do that, it gives you that horrible ridge look. Well, I did it because I went ahead and turned my outfit inside out. So it doesn't even show that join anymore. That's what I've learned, is you can do a crappy join. I mean, not crappy, but it looks crap. It don't look good. Like the smooth join. And you can just turn it inside out and it works out just fine. So anyway, I know this has been a long video, and thank you for sticking in there with me, but I'm one that I cannot jot down patterns. I have to see it, touch it, do something like that. So I know there's a lot of people out there like me, so I wanted to make sure that y'all could see that, how to do this, because I really think you can. Like I said, if I can do it, I know y'all can. I'll take a few questions, but please don't bombard me with, well, how many stitches do I need to do for this size? How many stitches do I need to do that size? I don't know. I don't do stitch count. I just measure the panel. If you'll get, oh crap, I don't know where it went, but, oh, here it is. This is what I use. It's a clothing maker, measuring tape that's real flexible, and you use it to measure clothes and stuff. That's what I use to measure the panels, and I just winged it, and that's sometimes the best thing to do, is just wing it. Anyway, guys, I appreciate it, and I appreciate all viewers. It means a lot to me that y'all are watching, and take care.